Welcome to Hammer and Nails with Skip and Allison Bedell.
Okay, are we ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
You sure you're ready?
I'm so ready.
Let's do it.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey, I'm Skip Bedell.
I'm Allison Bedell.
And welcome back to Hammer and Nails podcast. I want to thank everybody for coming back each and every week, 2 times a week. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, everybody's awesome. I've been getting nice messages. I just love it. Every once in a while, somebody will just say something for no reason, just to say, I love your podcast. And it's
They're
so
like, you're
nice.
hot.
No. Oh, my God.
I saw something on one of your pictures the other day. You're hot, like H-A-W-T.
Really?
But like a lot of A's, like hot.
Was it a girl or a guy?
I don't know. You get it from both.
I get a lot of nice compliments
Yeah,
from
you
women.
get it from
and I have to
both.
tell you, it really impresses me because usually women are known for not being like that. You know, women
Yeah.
don't usually support each other or give compliments. I know people, like, nobody in my world, my real world, like at work,
Yeah.
God forbid anybody ever says one compliment. Never.
Yeah, they're all in work mode.
No,
Yeah,
they're
but
not.
You get plenty of it in social media.
It's got nothing to do with work mode. It has. They're in women mode.
They're in chick mode.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm not like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's like if I see something I like, I want to tell somebody. I want to know where you got it and how you did it because I want it to.
You got your sexy librarian glasses on, by the way. I just noticed.
Am I sexy?
Yes.
Sexy
Yes.
librarian?
Yes, I think we should put this on pause right now, as a matter of fact. You're making it very hard to concentrate.
Yes, my $400 Dolce & Gabbanas.
Ooh, fancy.
No, stupid.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I got sucked in, like, when we went to the ophthalmologist and had the eye exams, and they're like,
They
oh,
always
you need...
do that, right?
Yeah.
You go to like the eyeglass place and they step right over here.
Yeah, these
and
are the
let
ones that are included in your plan.
Yeah, which are like, they're really... like you'd never wear any of them.
Yeah, they're made with crayons.
And then they're like, oh, you're probably going to want to see this.
You could try these on.
The designer case
yeah.
over here.
So I did that, and I tried on everything, and I found a beautiful pair of glasses that, had I just been patient enough to write down the model number and went online, I could have bought them for half the price, brought them to the ophthalmologist, and had them put in the prescription lenses.
Right.
But no, I had to actually order everything right away because I got sucked in.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they look nice. I actually get compliments on the glasses from glasses-wearing people. So they're nice.
Yeah, they look really good.
Thank you.
They have really thick lenses on them, so
No,
like
they
they make your
don't.
eyes look really big, like magnifying glasses.
No.
You got like the Coke bottle lenses in there.
No.
Well, you're really blind, aren't you? Look at those things.
Stop it. It's just for reading.
Ah.
You know, everybody, we have a website, hammernailspodcast.com.
Oh yeah.
And where you can get all the information about the stuff that we talk about, links to the products we talk about, and if there's any pictures to show about the stuff that we did, you can
it's
go
so
to...
cool.
Yeah,
Lots of
it's
great pictures and videos on there.
Yep, hammernailspodcast.com. And also on there is a giant banner. If you want to take that banner for Amazon and drag it up to your bookmarks bar, then every time you shop at Amazon, all you have to do is click on it, and it helps us out a lot. You don't even have to keep going to our website. Just go there once, take our banner, drag it to your bookmarks, and then every time you shop at Amazon, just click through there. And it makes it so much easier for you, and it also helps us out a lot.
Yeah, we appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, so
Thanks,
listen.
guys.
This message is just for the lazy asses. You know, those ones who are just complacent and they listen and they think, yeah, I'm going to do that, you know, tomorrow, or I'll do it later, and they never get around to it.
Right.
Hit pause and do it right the fuck now.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Do it for us. Help us out because, you know, we're
No better
doing
time
this
than
for
the
you.
present.
Yeah.
I do that stuff all the time, by the way. I'm like, yeah, that's such a great idea.
I do, too.
I'm
That's
gonna
how
do
I
that.
know.
I'm going to do that, and
Yeah.
I never do it.
Well, that's how I know that people do
Like,
that because I do
have
it.
to write everything down,
Yeah.
and I have to put it like in my notes app on the phone, and I have to like make reminders for myself because I am constantly like bombarded with like information and cool stuff. I'm like, yeah, I want that. I got to get that. That's going to be great. And then I'm like, oh shit, what was it I just saw that I liked?
know. That's why I started Random Thoughts.
Oh, yeah, right.
Because I get these, I don't remember shit.
Yeah.
So I understand people. I understand if you think to yourself that you want to support us, but you know you just keep forgetting. Just put it on
CRS
pause.
CRS
Do it
syndrome.
right now. And you know what? While you're at our website, If you feel like you've got an extra $2 a week that you can spare, help us out a little bit and click on the PayPal link on our website as well, because that really helps us out a lot too, because there's a lot of expenses involved with all this podcasting.
Lots of folks been doing that, and we want to thank you again. Keep saying thank you. Appreciate it.
You can't say lots of folks. That means like we're making so much money, and we're not.
Well, no, like people are doing it though, and we want to say thanks.
We want to say thank you to those people
You know
who
what?
have contributed.
I'll say thank you, and you can just sit there and shut up.
Anyway, there's a lot to talk about. I'm really excited.
Really?
In addition to it being Tip Tuesday.
It is Tip Tuesday.
Tip Tuesday!
I love Tip Tuesday.
Me too.
That's like when people give us all their cool questions and DIY stuff and like
everything.
Like sex advice and
yeah, you know what? People forget because they're not part of the everyday stuff. Like they don't come with me to work, but people don't realize that I'm actually very skilled at advice giving, personal advice. I'm sort of like a counselor of sorts at work. I give great life advice. That's pretty much like a lot of my job, what I do every single day. And I've experienced a lot about a lot of different things with a lot of different people.
Yeah, you see a lot of cool stuff.
I've experienced a lot, and I've got a lot of good advice. If you just look at me as an example of somebody who is happy in a good relationship, I've got a successful career, we have a beautiful home, because I did some things right, but I only did it right after I fucked everything up first.
Right.
You know what I'm
you
saying?
Make a lot of mistakes
yes,
in life, right?
I have made so many fucking mistakes.
I say that all the time. It's like some lessons come really hard learned, but hopefully you learn it the first time and you don't repeat it, you know? So, I think that's the best way to learn something is to screw it up, and then you're like, oh man, I'm never doing that again.
Right, because everything that I have is not due to luck. It's because I learned lessons. There's a lot
I think it's also
lessons.
We work our asses off. So
well, we do, but that's what I'm saying. I'm a good person. Even I'm a good ear, just to talk about anything. So that's why I want people to reach out and
you have nice ears too. They're small.
No, they're
well-shaped.
not. Oh, I think they're too long. I don't like them. I'm gonna have like those big hanging old lady ears.
You get
one
like
day.
old lady ear syndrome. Which, you heard about that whole thing, like there are certain parts of your body that continue to grow, like your nose, right? Mm-hmm. Supposedly your feet and your ears, and I don't know what else. I was hoping like my junk, but, it's just
oh my God,
so far it's just remained like solid at 10 inches. I just I can't get it to go any bigger than that.
You have brought up junk.
Kidding.
You have brought up junk, and
it's 4 inches.
That is something that we need to discuss.
Junk?
Yes, I'm very excited about this story.
Like junk in your trunk?
No.
Oh, what kind of junk are we talking about?
Penis junk.
Oh.
Yeah.
That kind of junk.
Yeah. Listen to this. This is very fucking exciting. The first penis transplant in the U.S. was performed in Massachusetts.
Really?
Yes.
When did this happen?
This week.
Wow.
Yes. Like within the last few days.
Really?
So there was this guy who had cancer, and he lost his penis due to the cancer, so they gave him... they did a procedure, and they gave him a new one.
So where
from a from an organ donor
that's
cadaver.
What I wanted to know. Where did it come from?
Yeah, it was from a deceased donor. So they put the whole thing on him.
Now
they
here's the
expect
thing,
it to be
man.
a few weeks, he'll be peeing.
This opens up a whole new world for guys out there that are less than well endowed. I mean, think about it. Like if you get a transplant. I mean, but here's the thing: do you actually have the ability now to go and kind of shop and pick out the one you want, or do you just get the one that they give you?
No, you get. I mean, you have to be a blood match.
Right. Well, yeah, of course, all that
be...
stuff. But I'm talking about. Let's get to the important stuff. I'm talking about like the size. I mean, you get to look at like what are you going like?
No, you don't get a selection. No. Oh my God. So anyway,
well, think about it. I mean, if you're going to get some other part like internal organs that people get transplanted all the time, like that's not like you're not thinking like, oh man, I want like that particular...
Like, what if they gave you a skinny dick, right? Like,
yeah,
would you be grateful just to have the dick, or would you be disappointed that you got skinny dick?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would never want to go through that. I want to be grateful for everything, but so how can we control that? Is there any selection and part of the process?
No.
So it's not you just wake up out of anesthesia like, oh man, I wish they would have let me see that one.
It's not like there's an abundance of dicks being waiting to be put on other people. This is a brand new procedure,
right?
And so they're waiting to see how it works. And based on the success, they'll either fine-tune it, No pun intended.
Yeah.
Or, or they'll continue it and it'll be something that can help a lot of people. You really don't hear a lot about genitalia amputation. You don't hear about problems like, people get cancer on their parts, or they get in a fire, or there's just some kind of freak accident. They lose their junk sometimes. Even women, you get injured.
Yeah.
So this is a really amazing thing.
I know a guy that knows a guy that actually had a really bad motorcycle accident, and while getting catapulted over the handlebars and front windshield, he tore up his whole belly and underside and lost part of his apparatus as well. Got hung up on.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I would imagine something like that would probably really give some people some hope, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They say that he has a 75% chance of getting his sexual function back.
Really?
Now listen to this though. This is the part of the story that I think is very interesting. There's another patient that had this performed in South Africa in December 2014. That patient had his penis amputated 3 years earlier after complications from a circumcision performed in his late teens. Okay, so.
Oh no.
Okay, so now listen. That guy made a full recovery following a 9-hour surgery and regained all function in the new organ. A man in China received a penis transplant in 2005. That operation also appeared to be successful, but doctors said the guy asked them to remove it 2 weeks later because of the psychological problems experienced by him and his wife.
What?
I mean, I'm thinking that looking down and having somebody else's body part sewn onto you has to freak you out a bit.
I would imagine that would definitely freak you.
Especially your dick.
Yeah.
Like you're holding somebody else's dick.
But I mean...
Really, when you're peeing, it's like you're literally...
I'm sure it's going to take a while, just like any other, they transplant any other body part that you can actually see, it's going to take a while for you to adjust to it mentally as well. But I mean, especially that, right?
Especially that.
Yeah.
Because especially some men are so homophobic about touching somebody else's dick. Even if they're doing a three-way, they're like, our dicks can't touch by accident. You know what I mean? Like, they're already so homophobic.
No sword fights, no rubbing.
Yeah, exactly.
no touching the
with that in mind, I mean, I can imagine what it must... really, I can imagine what it must be like to look down, you got somebody else's dick sewn onto you, and when you're holding it, you're almost like having to convince yourself that you're not gay.
Well, no. See, no. I don't think...
You see your hand holding somebody else's dick.
But now it's on you, though. So I think it's just like you'd have to get over that initial thing and then just be like, oh, my God. Because prior to that, you were looking down and didn't see anything.
That guy would rather have no dick than to hold somebody else's dick.
Really?
Can you imagine?
No, I can't imagine either one, actually. Thank God I get to look down and hold my own.
Oh, my God. I just think it's amazing.
Actually, better yet, I get to look down and see you hold my own.
Exactly. So the candidates for future transplants are going to be evaluated a case-by-case basis, limited to cancer and trauma patients for now, but they will not be offering this surgery to transgendered people. Yeah.
So it's never going to be like a cosmetic alteration or improvement.
I don't
or
think
that type of thing.
I think in that case, I wouldn't consider it cosmetic in that case.
Well, I mean, women are getting like fake boobs and butts and lips and everything else, right? So
no, because
what point is it going to be guys are going to be like, hey, I want a bigger dick,
Stop. What I'm saying is that that the gender identity thing is an actual psychological thing where you feel like you are in the wrong body. It's not cosmetic. It's you getting what you actually feel like you should have because that's in your head, that's your gender.
Right.
But because they're going to limit this surgery to people who have actually been injured or have an illness.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that on their body part that they already have.
Of course, that has to be priority, but think about, like, they would be completely overwhelmed if they made it available to people who just wanted to have a sex change,
I don't think that you would be able to have a functioning penis attached to you, to a woman's body. I'm no doctor, but if you're replacing a penis, you've already got all the parts that are going to fuel it, like the parts that are going to lead to the vein and all the blood supply and all that kind of shit. Women don't have that physical makeup to supply a penis with blood when you get turned on. You know what I mean? Like, I would imagine it can't even be done anyway.
God.
You'd have a limp dick if you had something sewn onto you, basically.
I'm so grateful that I have my own and it works really well. And I'm good. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's hope I never have to worry about that.
Well, technically speaking, when women become men and they take the testosterone, it makes your clitoris grow a lot, and it becomes big. And in addition to that, they can insert a prosthetic inside of it to make it even bigger. So with that in mind, you've already got the sensitivity, your own sensation with the nerve endings and everything. So I would say that that's even a better alternative than to have somebody else's dick sewn onto you that you can't function.
Yeah, I would think so.
Right? So I don't even think, but there's going to be some assholes making a stink about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Just based on principle, they want a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I'm next in line for that dick. Oh, no, you're not cutting me. I was here first.
You know how people they can kidnap people and steal a kidney from them? People are gonna be waking up in a tub full of ice cubes with their dick missing, and somebody else on the other side of town with a dick inside of a cooler on ice.
There's gonna be all sorts of back alley dick procedures going on now.
Fuck. Oh my God.
Wow, black market dick operations.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. Hey, cool.
Yeah. So this is really messed up. There was a Carnival cruise. I think it's just docking now. Oh, don't let him jump up. A woman fell off of a Carnival cruise. It's like a family cruise line, and they were looking for her all over the ship. They were in every room very thoroughly. They checked under the bed, in the closets, in the bathroom, on the deck. They looked everywhere in every room for this woman because she was missing. They eventually, I guess because there's a lot of footage between, every part of the ship when you've got cameras on the ship. They do have cameras. They do record, but that's a lot of footage to have to look through.
Sure.
You need the manpower to put eyes on all that footage.
They probably have hundreds of cameras.
Oh, yeah. So they eventually found the footage. This woman, or should I say dumbass, sat on the railing of the cruise ship 2 a.m. Now, I don't know if she was suicidal or if she was intoxicated, maybe. Who really, people with common sense wouldn't do that, wouldn't sit on a railing of a cruise ship in the middle of the night.
So there must not have been anyone else around. Was she in her cabin or
she was on a deck on the railing, on the 10th level, and she's 33 years old, 4 kids.
Oh,
I'm thinking she probably killed herself.
Oh, the 4 kids was just the last one just put her over the edge. She's like, oh, no.
Oh, God.
No, that was the one that wasn't supposed to happen.
Do you know about 200 people a year fall off of ships?
Really?
Yes.
That's a really high number.
Yeah. But there's and that's
you
out
never
of
hear about those numbers though, right?
But that's out of what was it, 2 million passengers, I think, or something like that. It's percentage wise, it's very small, but that's a lot of people, and it kind of puts a little bit of fear in you because you always think that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to fall off.
Right.
But by the time that they realized what happened to her when they found that video footage, it was already 10 hours had passed.
And they were way out to sea?
Yeah, but so they turned around and they tried to find her. They covered over 4,000 square miles looking for her. I think it was 20 hours worth of searching.
They must have the Coast Guard and everybody out.
Yeah, they called off the search though because it was just they didn't find anything, and it was just you can't look every what I mean. They went back and they looked and they called off the search. She gone.
Well, they called it off that quickly?
No, it's not. That's not quick.
I mean,
they went back and looked. They went back to where they came from.
They're searching for someone to see. They look for days. You could survive floating for days. Assuming that you haven't gotten eaten by a shark or something,
Well, they went back to where they came from. They looked. I guess they thought
we're good. All right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
All right, so there you go, folks. Don't sit on the railing if you take a cruise ever.
God,
that just seems
so stupid.
Come on, why would you even do that?
Well, maybe she had a substance abuse problem, and she
lost people drink a
her
lot,
ability
right?
to make a good decision.
Yeah, when you're on those boats, and it's just it's party time, it's vacation time. You probably
Okay,
but still, you got
So
as Adam would say, but still,
yeah,
but still, what are you doing on that railing?
Have you noticed on Instagram there and Facebook, but Instagram more so, there's been a lot of ads. Like you'll scroll through the pictures and you'll see what you think is your friend's picture, but it's really an ad. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, more lately.
There's a lot more, so there's been a lot of this, like targeting people. They're showing ads of things that are based upon your history, like your browsing history, like in the cookies in your phone, just like in your computer.
Right.
So I had every once in a while, and I'm not really, I don't get mad that there's ads because sometimes it's something I'm actually interested in because they're aiming it at me. So it's something that I actually might be interested in. So I don't, it doesn't bother me so much. And I've actually ordered something, an eyebrow makeup.
Oh yeah, they know exactly where to go. I mean, they see you coming a mile away because you're constantly buying something. I'm sure, like stuff from all these websites that you purchase things from. It's got to go in some database that you're a frequent flyer on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's they do it to every single phone. But on Facebook, I had a post on there. I put it a post because I was on Amazon. And I was searching for the electronics. Remember, we were going to hang the TV in the bedrooms where we needed wires. So I did a search of some electronic something or other. And in the middle of all the results was some lingerie, like porno lingerie. You know what I mean? Like that kind of like black crotchless something or other. You know what I mean? It was like, how the fuck did that show up in the middle? And so I posted it on Facebook because I was surprised. I wanted to see if anybody knew what the hell that was about.
I was wondering what that was on your Facebook. I saw that the other day because you could see your recent posts and pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was like, I don't know, you posted some whatever recipe or this or that picture or something. And all of a sudden there's like this chick in a pair of crotchless panties. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because that popped up. So people were saying that they base it on your previous searches, and it's kind of like like advertising. They're doing it to you in your searches, inserting these other things. Right. But this is the thing with that. I never searched for lingerie online. I didn't search for anything on Amazon that would bring that to my results. So I'm wondering, like, what the fuck? It's my phone. You never use my phone, so it's not like you took my phone and looked up porn or something. Like, I don't even know where
you
where
do
they
that
get
enough
these
of
things.
Yourself on your own phone.
But people are thinking now that I'm searching for like stuff like that because they're like, oh yeah, that's because they take information from blah blah blah. And I'm saying no, I don't buy my underwear on Amazon.
Right.
I go to Victoria's Secret. Thank you very much. We have an outlet over here by my job, and I buy my underwear in person. Right. Which another thing about that fucking Victoria's Secret that pisses me off. Let me tell you. You go in there, or I go in there. It's a really big store. They've got a huge selection of everything. Yeah, I've been in there with you before. Exactly. This is what pisses me off. When women have their men in there too.
Right.
And I'm trying to sort through the piles of underwear and stuff, and there's somebody's guy standing there while she's shopping, and I have to pick it out of the pile to hold it up and look at it. Right. This is a private thing. I don't want somebody's guy, some fucking stranger guy, standing there while I'm choosing my private underwear.
Right.
And that really bothers me. It's like they should have a couch in the front of the store so the guy can sit down and look at his phone while the women are shopping.
Yeah, there's nowhere to sit in any of those stores. Whenever I go shopping with you in places, you'll go into
Sephora.
Oh my God, in that place. In fact, the other day I was in there with you because we happened to be in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a chair in there that I just happened to find right by the front door. And I think it was for the security person, whatever, right? So I sat down in the chair. And the girl comes over to me, like a security girl, and she's like, I see you found the chair. And I'm like, yeah, I never saw a chair in here before. I'm like, this is great. And she's like, yeah. She goes, that chair is not usually up here. She's like, wow, you got lucky. And I'm like, yeah, you're damn right I did. Because usually I'm walking around doing laps around, looking at, whatever, right? Just to kill time.
Yeah.
While you're in there shopping for makeup or something.
Yeah. Well,
which could take a really long time, by the way.
Well, it is what it is. That's
So you're right. They need like a
That's how I
sitting-
get to look like this.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I'm not complaining.
You can't complain.
Yeah, just keep doing it.
Yeah,
'Cause it's working.
So listen, guys.
But they do need a sitting area.
This
They
is-
need someplace.
Yeah. So listen, guys, if you're gonna like shop with your girl to like get her lingerie while you're with her, focus on her and focus on the items that she's pulling out of the bin. Don't turn around the other way. Don't stand there bored and look around because that makes everybody uncomfortable
Good
around
luck
you.
with that. Listen to what you're saying. That's like a complete oxymoron. That's like a guy. The guy's in a candy store now, right? It's like you're surrounded by chicks looking at lingerie, but don't look at anything. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Put the blinders on like a racehorse.
Well, then get the fuck out
and only focus. I mean, I'm just saying. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on around.
Yeah, but you're not.
Know?
I know that you are not looking around to see what other girls are picking out.
I'm not looking around like perving out and shit. But it's just like it's just it would seem almost like unnatural to not look like there's so much going on. There's like so much happening
This
around
is
you.
not like the Macy's jogging
It's not like
pants
you're perving
section
out or anything. It's just like
no, it's very uncomfortable when guys are standing around inside.
Well,
that
then they need
store.
some sort of better system then.
They need to provide a place for them to sit.
They should
but
put the lounge up in the
until
front,
then,
maybe a pool table, some flat screens to watch some sports on or something, like something to keep guys occupied, or else they're going to be looking at boobies and panties and bras and all that. They're just going to do it.
Let's talk about that word.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that word.
What's that, boobies?
No.
Which one? Panties?
Yes.
You don't like that?
No.
Yeah, it
I don't
feels
know, something about
It's
that
a strange
word.
word, right?
I never use the word.
It is a strange
ever.
word. Yeah.
Now I was
Panties.
raised with that word. My mother used that word when I was a little girl, and that would be what she called them. I had a next door neighbor who was my best friend Samantha, and her mother was very different, and they called them underwears.
Oh,
so
underwears.
That's how she had like one of that Long Island accent, like underwears.
Your underwears.
So I then started calling them underwear, just like she did.
You just called it a drip catcher.
You're awesome. Anyway,
there's got to be some better word than panties, right?
Well, yeah, but something. What is it? I feel like it's like means like little girl underwear. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable saying that word. Just like the cock word. I never liked that word.
Cock.
I don't like the word. I feel uncomfortable saying the word.
Right.
I never say it. I never use it. Like if I'm talking about your dick, I say your dick. I never use the C word. What is it about that word?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just I can't figure out what it is about that P word though. For underwear,
You can't even say it.
I don't. I feel uncomfortable. It's like little girl draws,
Panties.
Yeah.
It is a weird word.
Yeah, and they use it on the Victoria's Secret commercial, but they say it with the English accent, Bras and panties.
Yeah, if your panties.
I don't know. It's just, it's underwear.
Yeah.
Everybody wears underwear.
Yeah.
Why do you need to distinguish if it's girl or boy?
Your drawers.
Yeah, it's your drawers.
Your drawers.
I say that too.
Your drawers?
Yeah, I call them drawers all the
Yeah,
time.
but like when you say drawers, though, I'm thinking like boxer shorts. Like I don't picture like the tiny little micro thong that you wear. That's like a
or the tiny bikini that you wear.
No, yeah, right. Your thong is like a 2-inch triangle with a piece of dental floss.
You know what? I learned very early on. I'm talking, like 18 years old. I remember I was a cocktail waitress in this nightclub, and one of the other cocktail waitresses wore a thong. And I was like, oh my God, because I'd never really seen anything like that. And I was thinking.
You wear the full back like granny panties?
Well, not full sides, but, they were smaller small on the sides, but ass covered.
You're bloomers.
So, no, they weren't bloomers. They were like, teenage girl underwear. So I was like amazed, like, oh my God, like that's got to feel so weird with that in your ass. And she's like, no. And then as I became more sexually aware, I'm thinking, okay, well, those definitely look sexier. So I tried them out and I said, you know what? It's genius because no matter what you do, like no matter what kind of underwear you wear, you get a wedgie. So you can either have like 12 inches worth of material in your ass crack.
Right.
Or you can have a little strip of like something you won't even feel.
Right, that is brilliant.
Yes.
You're right.
Because you get a wedgie. You will have a wedgie.
How much fabric can we cram in your ass crack?
Yes. And then you have to pick it.
Yeah, the choice is yours.
Yes. Not only do you have to pick it out and people see you picking your ass, but you know that when people are wearing certain types of pants, like or work pants or a skirt, you see the lines. You see
the
panty lines.
The panty lines.
And that is highly unattractive. Not only are the lines unattractive, but you know, like that little half moon that goes like near your asshole area, like from the little piece of material that goes in the middle of the underwear. You know what I mean? Like they sew on women's underwear. They sew in like a piece of material in the middle, like to cover like so you have like a cotton on your choach and your asshole so that your choach can breathe. So
you got breathable fabric.
So this piece of material always has like
I think they should make that out of saran wrap and just keep it all in there.
It's sewn on, and you can see that like moon shape of material on the lower part of a girl's ass when she's wearing regular underwear.
Well,
it's very unattractive.
Yeah, the other thing that's not good is that when girls wear like if they have like a really fat ass and then they wear panties that are panties.
Oh God!
I know, right? Oh, you're making me
like
all weird. Yeah, I don't even want to say it anymore. What'd you do to me? I'm ruined now. I can't even say it.
Ew.
When they're wearing drawers that are too tight and they got the full back drawers, the elastic on the sides.
The tight elastic on their legs and ass.
The leg holes are too tight.
Yeah.
The elastic, so like you can see the whole shape. It's like a leg hole roll. Right? So picture, you get like a back roll. Yeah. It's like a leg hole roll.
Yeah.
Right? Like all the way around.
Yeah, I know exactly
Not
what you're
good.
saying.
No. That's like a perfect time where you need to have the tea bag.
Now, do you tell a friend if you see that on a friend? Would you tell a friend or do you not? It's kind of like when you got spinach in your teeth. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you got to say it, man. If you're my friend and you see a big leaf of spinach in my teeth, you damn well don't let me walk around like that.
What about with the underwear? Would you?
You did that to me once. You let me fucking walk around with something in my teeth.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I remember one day there was something in my mouth. We were somewhere.
Maybe I didn't notice it.
No, you noticed it.
I personally pick the shit out of your teeth with my finger. Why would I leave it?
I recall one time, and you for whatever reason you forgot to tell me, and then I'm like, really? How long have you seen this thing in my face?
Oh,
yeah, it's not good. No, you got to tell. You have to say. I mean, Unless you just you don't give a shit. But
no. There's a woman at work who you can always see the underwear, and it's like, and she's, you know what? And this is a person I don't think.
Oh yeah, but that's different though. That's not.
Okay.
No, you can't say that at work.
Okay.
No, unless it's like really like your close friend.
Yeah. If it was my close friend, I would say something. I'd be like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Listen, pull your panties out of your ass.
The word again. I would never say that.
Panties.
Get your drawers out of your ass.
Yeah, get your drawers out of your ass.
Yes.
I keep going back to like boxer briefs or something when you say drawers. Like that's like I'm thinking like bloomers, something really big. I would never.
You know that granny panties are coming back, by the way.
No. Stop it. Stop it. Right now.
Girls are wearing granny panties.
Stop.
And not only that, but somebody on Facebook wrote to me that her friend's gynecologist, now this is going back to our last podcast, what we talked about, her friend's gynecologist told her that Bush is coming back. Now, a gynecologist would know because they see him all day, every day.
I would think, but I think that's got to also be like relevant to the average age of your patients.
I think that the gynecologist is qualified to say if something's coming back in the crotch area.
Yeah, but I would yes, if you're
How could you argue that?
But if you're seeing younger people,
you have no idea who she's seeing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
why would you assume anything?
If you have an older patient base, and I think it's relevant also with their age too, because younger people are the ones that are going to dictate that trend.
All of what you're saying goes without saying.
Really?
Of course. If you're a gynecologist and you see old people all day that have bush, and you see young people that don't, and then you'll see a trend in the younger people having bush, you're qualified now to say bush is coming back.
But I'm thinking like older people always have bush, right? Like,
but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the X factor. There's a change from no bush to bush.
Right. Yeah, I get that. But the people that are really going to be up with the changes and what's going on with the trends, like who's putting on the mom shorts again? It's not, you don't care if the older chicks are doing it because you expect them to. They never got rid.
Ugly.
They never got rid of them, right? But when the young girls went from like, the little tiny
Sexy
little
low waist
micro
to mommy
Daisy
high.
Dukes to now like, the 80s with the waist up around underneath your boobs.
Oh, God, it's so ugly.
That's the age group, right? That's the group you got to watch because those are the ones that are really.
I'm sure that this doctor.
Now, if you got a bunch of chicks that are like in their 20s and they're all coming in with bush all of a sudden, there's a movement. There's something going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hence back to the gynecologist who made a determination and was able to tell somebody about it.
Okay.
Okay. So
that's not good.
With that established, ew.
Stop it. I just have one thing to say to you
I'm
all.
a huge advocate
Stop
of shaving the bush.
Just stop it.
Shave it all off. Everything. Get it all off. Nobody, especially, you know what, ladies?
It doesn't serve
like,
any
all
purpose.
you need to do is be with a woman once, and then you will see what it's like, and you will do your man a favor and shave it all off. It's no fun. It's no fun going down on a chick with a hairy bush.
Oh.
Yeah, just that.
How did we get here?
I think we're talking about the cruise ship.
We started out with dick transplant.
Dick transplant, yes.
And then we went from that to falling off the cruise ship to now to Harry Bush.
Yes.
Wow. This is a very well-rounded podcast, I might say.
Yes. Oh, because the ads.
We haven't even gotten to Tip Tuesday.
Tip Tuesday!
Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Well, I have a
great.
lot more to talk about.
Wow. For those of you that were tuning in for DIY suggestions.
Well, here's a do-it-yourself suggestion. Shave your own bush.
I had no idea we were going here, but okay.
Oh, God. I wanted to remind you about Anthony Camel. Forever Faithful Diamonds.
He makes the best jewelry ever.
ForeverFaithfulDiamonds.com. Anthony not only makes engagement rings, he works with gems because he's a certified gemologist, but he also makes every other kind of jewelry. If you like a necklace or a bracelet or earrings, he makes anything
like custom-made
and everything.
stuff, though, right.
But he custom makes things as well. So if there's an idea that you have in your head or something that you want him to make, you tell him what you want, and he will make it. You can have something that nobody else will have. It'll be a one-of-a-kind piece. People will be like, oh, my God, where'd you get that? You got good taste. And you'll be like, I designed it.
Yeah.
And he will make it.
Yeah, he is a super talented guy. You can check out his stuff on his website, which is
ForeverFaithfulDiamonds.com.
Check it out. He's got a phone number you can contact him at.
949-463-0635. And you have nothing to lose by making that phone call, because if you don't like what he makes, he will give you a full refund.
See, that's the guy that stands behind his work.
Absolutely.
I can appreciate that as a craftsman. It doesn't matter if you're making jewelry or building houses or furniture or whatever it is. If the customer's not happy, you will give them a full refund because their happiness is paramount. And that's the guy that really believes in what he's doing. So,
right. Because
good for him.
When you're happy, you'll tell your friends about him, and that's how he's going to grow the business.
So you got nothing to lose, really.
Nothing to lose. You have absolutely nothing to lose. There's no reason not to contact
Get that
him.
piece of jewelry that you've always wanted to have made. Get it made, and check out Anthony Camel. And for some reason, if you don't like it, you get a full refund. So there you go.
And think about how special would an engagement ring be that you designed for your lady secretly behind her back, and then she had a one-of-a-kind ring that came from your heart and your mind. Oh, my God.
That's what I did like back in the day for you, and before we even knew. I wish I knew Anthony Camel back then. Oh, my God. Would have made my job so much easier. Wow.
Yeah.
I struggle with that, man. I'm trying to put together like the perfect ring and everything, and like he totally could have just like whipped it right up, right? That's the guy you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Check him out, Anthony Camel.
We have a lot of questions that we didn't get to from 2 podcasts ago, which was the last Tip Tuesday.
Tip Tuesday!
Okay, Lindsay Parent has 2 questions. One is for you, one is for me.
When helping people with their homes, they call Skip Bedell.
You want to avoid a headache and save money, he's the man to talk to. Skip Bedell.
Skip's question is, how easy is it to replace a door frame in a very old house, like from around 1890?
Very old house. Well, replacing any door frame can be a challenging job if you haven't done it before and you don't have the right tools and the skills, but it's totally something that you can do. For me to give you the tutorial on that, I could probably spend the whole podcast on it. But yeah, what you're going to find with a house that old is that you're going to have plaster walls, which means the thickness of that is going to be much thicker than your average doorway in your wall thickness for modern construction. So there are some factors there that are going to kind of play into that. You're going to have a lot of probably really detailed and old wooden trim that hopefully you can salvage and keep. The problem is going to be getting all that trim off, all the casing around that door, so you can actually change that frame out and not have to destroy it. Hopefully you can save it, because all that stuff is probably beautiful, as a lot of that older construction was. Yeah, but once you get all that casing off, then you can work on getting the frame. And one of the best ways to do that, once you can actually see the frame and where the frame material is fastened to the structure or the studs on either side of the door, typically will be held in with nails or screws, usually some sort of finishing nail. And if you can get a reciprocating saw blade back behind that and cut those rather than trying to pry everything out and damaging it, that's a really easy way to free up that door frame and slide it out. Without seeing it, it's going to be hard for me to kind of instruct you, where to go from there. But from that point, it's going to be kind of the same process that you would do with a modern door frame. And if you're going to be replacing it, of course, with a modern door frame and not, building another one from scratch, then you're going to need to modify it, because the modern door frame is going to come set up for a 2x4 wall with an additional inch on that for standard half-inch of drywall on either side. So that jamb will be 4.5 inches wide, as opposed to what you're going to have there, which will probably be like 6 or better. Once you do that, you're going to need to put some sort of extension jamb on that frame. So again, my suggestion to you, if you're actually considering doing this, is something that you can do, but I would find yourself some good tutorial videos on how to do that, or you can direct message me and I can spend a little more time on the whole thing with you and kind of guide you through it. You can take a picture and send it over to me on Facebook or Twitter, and I'll see if I can spend a little more time with you and help you out with that.
Okay. She was asking me about my skincare routine. I'm very glad that she asked this question, because this is a topic that I have been wanting to talk about for weeks, and I just keep getting sidetracked. So I wanted to spend a few minutes on skincare routine, because it benefits not just girls, but the guys too.
Of course.
I've been trying to convince you to use face cream on your face instead of body cream since I know you.
Yeah. And what does my skin look like?
Baby, you look good, but...
All right. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that the stuff you recommended is not going to work good for me.
There's a reason why...
All I'm saying is something is better than nothing.
Sometimes it's genetics.
Guys don't moisturize. Guys don't, they don't spend a lot of time doing stuff like that to their
Your
face.
Rationale is just... you can't justify it. It's just all wrong.
Okay. I'm just saying, at least I've been doing something, as opposed to probably 90% of the guys that are listening to this right now that do nothing. So...
Okay.
It's if you want to preserve your skin and not have, so you look like you got a leather face, like a lot of guys do when they get to be my age and older, and leather neck.
You need to moisturize.
Yeah.
But there's different ingredients that are put in these products for your face, special for your face, special for your eyes. They're all different types of skin on your face. It's not the same as the skin on the rest of your body. And it's not designed to be the same type of skin. That's why you don't get pimples on your arms or your thighs. Well, some people do because it's just gross. But, but there's different ingredients in different products, and there's a reason for it. I have been using products for a very long time. And I started because I used to get facials in my 20s, and I bought the toner and some other stuff that they were selling me in the place. And so since then, I've been moisturizing. I started using, about 10 years ago, I started using Olay Pro X, because it got amazing reviews, and it's supposed to be comparable to the more expensive products, and I'm not looking to spend a lot of money on this stuff, of course. You're just being like middle class, wanting to make my face look better than it did. And I noticed I was starting to get fine lines, so I started using the whole entire line of Olay Pro X. The day cream, the night cream, the line filler, the eye cream, the facial wash, the scrub, everything.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. They have a variety of things, and it is amazing. I literally saw in like a month, I saw a difference in the fine lines on my face. I saw them diminish. It was amazing. So I was using it for years and years and years. And then I met Lynette Carolla, who sells Rodan and Fields. It's an expensive line of products that are made by the two dermatologists that do Proactive, the acne medicine.
And she's got awesome skin.
She looks amazing. She was really, really talking this stuff up, and she was saying how amazing it was. And so, of course, if a friend says they use something and it works, I want to try it, you know? Right. So I began to purchase that. You have to like join. It's like a membership. And then if you join this membership, you get like a discount on some of the products. Either way, it ends up being expensive. You know, like they're nice products and they work well, and it's expensive. But I use them. I've used them for about a year and a half. And just recently, maybe about 2 months ago, I said, you know what, there's so many things with our kitchen renovation and with other things. You know, I'm trying to save money on some things. I said, I can't be spending all this money on this face creams. I got to find something comparable and cheaper. This is where the exciting part comes in, because you have to go to our episode summary, because I'm going to provide links to the shit that I started using. I found this line of products. It's on Amazon. And I'm not just saying it so you can go to use my links. I'm saying it because I can show you receipts that I have been using these products. I can screenshot all of the purchases that I have made of all the products in this line, including their night cream, day cream, eye cream, facial scrub. I use all that stuff. And again, I see a big improvement in my skin. And it feels nice. It goes nicely under makeup. It really works. And if you put this stuff on your face every day, you're going to see a difference. And that includes the guys, too. I mean, I imagine a lot of guys don't care about their skin wrinkling.
You know, when they care about it when they look in the mirror like, oh, my God, what the hell happened to my face?
Yeah.
But then it's too late.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
It's like somebody told me years ago, I was dating some chick that was like an esthetician or something, and I don't know, like I was in like my 20s, like way before most guys ever think about doing anything like that. You know, you're not thinking about that stuff when you're a young guy at that age. The girls are, because you're putting makeup on, you're doing all that stuff anyway, but guys aren't. She reminded me of like how important it is that she treated older men that were like probably my age now, and said all the things that like this is results of like sun damage and all the stuff that I do to my skin, because I'm constantly outside working on stuff, and
I had to start making you use sunblock on your nose when we first met you, with your being on the bike all the time with your glasses on. You had that red nose with the sunglasses line on it.
Nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like that moisture, and like I think another thing that guys probably miss is like even if they're doing it on their face, like one of the big areas on guys you can really tell their age is around their neck.
Yeah.
Just like women too, but like you can definitely see the aging on like a guy's neck. It gets like leathery toward the back and the side. You get all the deep creases in it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I can tell you that other people that I know that are even younger than me that have way more evidence of that than I do. Like I have almost zero evidence of that on my neck, and I've always moisturized it, even like starting in my 20s. I just make it part of my daily thing. I'll do it at night before I get in bed. I'll put something on whatever I have, even if it's nothing fancy. I put something is going on, even if it's like a body lotion. Something is going on there, right? So since I've met you, of course, you turned me on to all these different products that are really designed more for your face, and rather than I'm using like a gallon-sized thing of cocoa butter that's like $4 from CVS.
Cocoa butter is expensive. It's more than that.
Slather it onto your arms and stuff, or whatever. But anything is better than nothing. But then I got to say, after you told me about the stuff that you've been using, it feels amazing. It's so light and it's easy to put on, and it definitely it's not like that greasy, thick feeling where it clogs up your skin and stuff.
And you can see a difference. I started about maybe 3 years ago. I started seeing a difference under my eyes, like a little bag, and it occurred to me when I was looking at Dad, I was getting the exact bag that he had like under his eyes, so I started really concentrating on eye cream, applying it more heavily underneath my eye and concentrating on that. Right. And it all but like disappeared. The bag went away because I started really using a better product under my eyes, and because I used to put it on my eyelid. But
I was wondering what happened to your bag.
It was only under my left eye. It was weird, But it's really this stuff works. Is what I'm saying. I absolutely use it. If you want proof, I'll provide it.
Is that where the term like old bag comes from?
Ah,
you got like an old bag under your eye.
I don't know.
That's what happens when you get old. You get like a bag.
I'm going to put a link on our website so that you can click on it, and it is so cheap. It's so cheap. which is what the part I'm very excited about.
Yeah, check this stuff out.
I've
I
got it
gotta
on
say, I
subscribe
like
and
it
save.
too. You turn me on to it. I think it's actually really great, and anything that's going to make it like easier to put on if it goes on easy,
Yeah.
especially for guys, because guys are like, like you may be. It's like anything else. You'll do it for a couple of days or for a week or whatever, then you just like get out of the habit.
Yeah.
If you stay in the habit of it, almost becomes like just part of your routine.
Yeah.
You don't even think about doing it.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm very
100%.
proud of you. I have been seeing you because you leave everything on the counter that you use. But
Yeah,
I've seen the
including
face cream.
including all my my razor stubble and hair, and according to what you say, anyway, right?
It's true.
Why do you ever clean off the counter? I do every time.
You do? Oh,
I do. I clean it.
okay. Okay.
I'm sure you're not the only one that sees razor evidence on the bathroom sink.
Anyway, okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up in a summary. You have to use special eye cream. You have to use special day cream. You have to use a special night cream. I also put a serum on top of my facial cream, which has extra ingredients which are known to help you with your collagen in your skin. That's the elasticity and the puffiness, so that you can hide those wrinkles and prevent them from getting deeper.
Okay, go get it.
Tony
Check out the
Ballard
link.
wants to know. He said he's got a tough shed garage in his backyard. It needs to be painted.
Okay.
He built it in 2006. He thought it would be nicer to stucco it to match his house, but the company that installed it quit doing stucco because of the cracking.
Right.
So it's got wood siding on it right now, but he doesn't know if it's okay to stucco a wood building.
All right. I don't know what kind of siding, if it's like a plank siding or shingle, or if it's just, they put like a T111 on a lot of the sheds and outbuildings and things like that, which is like a textured plywood. Without seeing a picture, I can't really tell, but I can tell you this: you can't stucco right over the wood. So it would have to be done just like we would stucco on any house that has a wood frame and sheathing. Of course, when you stucco over a block or a masonry-based structure, it's a different process. But when you're stuccoing over anything that has a wood shell to it, you have to go through the regular procedure and treat it just the same. So if you try to stucco right over the wood, obviously it's not going to last. It's going to crack. It's every time the building expands, it contracts, and that's if they were talking about cracking problems. They probably weren't using the full process. So anyway, that's going to require, having a moisture barrier on it. Now, a lot of people use like a felt paper. They'll staple on tar paper onto the building before they do stucco, and they'll lath over that. And if you look online, you'll see like there's a history of people that have moisture problems in stucco houses. The sheathing, especially if you have OSB as opposed to a plywood sheathing, are susceptible to getting a lot of moisture damage and mold buildup. And that is also largely due to only using a single layer of building paper underneath your stucco. It's important that when you do in stucco, you have what they call an air gap. And basically how you can achieve that, if you're either using a rain screen matting, which is a little bit more expensive, and that's a whole other material that I'll talk about, but something simple that you can do is use a second layer of paper. You paper that over that sheathing not once but twice, and that'll make an air gap between those two layers. Now the theory behind that is once you do your stucco over that first layer, the moisture seeps through the stucco, hits that first layer of paper, and it will crinkle up that paper a little bit when it dries, and that'll create some space between the two layers of paper, allowing any moisture that'll accumulate that gets behind the stucco to now drain down to the bottom and go outside. So if you don't have that second layer, you may have a moisture problem there. After you get the two layers of paper on, you're going to want to use a wire lath over that. So if you're not familiar with the whole stucco process, again, there's always millions of videos online. But real quickly, you're going to want to put a wire lath. There's K-lath. There's different types of wire laths that people will use on that. I always recommend using a 17-gauge self-furring stucco netting. It looks very much like chicken wire, but you don't want to use a regular chicken wire. And there's a reason why you're going to use a stucco netting. By first glance, it looks almost exactly the same. But when you put the stucco netting on there, it's actually, when they call it self-furring, that means that it has little bends in it that actually raises it up off the surface, and it creates a little space. So when you stucco over that wire mesh, the stucco can get behind the wire, and it's not just on the surface, and allows it to stick through around the whole wire. So it's important that you get that paper and the netting on there properly. They actually make, if you go to the masonry supply, they make a paper and the mesh all in one. It comes on one roll that you can actually apply right onto the building, and it kind of shortens up the step. And of course, after you get all that preliminary work done, you want to go through your regular 3-coat stucco process, which is your scratch coat, brown coat, and finish coat. And again, look, if you're not familiar with how to stucco, make sure that you're getting all that done properly. The stucco is basically made up of a Portland mortar cement mix, sand, and water. Those three parts to that mix have to be made at the right ratio, or else it's going to dry too quickly or not quickly enough. So there's some stuff involved in doing stucco, and you know, like I say, with all these tips, I could spend the whole podcast talking about how to stucco. Check out some videos on how to do it. But the main point is, if you're going to stucco over that wood shed or any other structure like that, it has to be treated just like you're doing it on your house. You have to have a proper moisture barrier behind it and a proper wire lath over that for the stucco to adhere to. And if you do that, you should have good results. I don't see any reason why it would crack any more than your house. Yeah, and if you want to save a bunch of money, just slap a couple coats of paint on it and be done. There you go.
Yeah. One of our listeners, Lynn Steele, had sent me this video from HGTV, which I thought was really cool. It's about storing your fruits and vegetables.
Oh.
And I did not know that. I saw this video.
That is almost as exciting as stucco.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? Everybody gets food, so this is maybe something that everybody can relate to, because I think that everything I thought about storing some fruits and vegetables is wrong. So what this video says is that you keep tomatoes, cucumbers, and onions on the counter, not in the fridge.
Really?
Yes.
Tomatoes and cucumbers too?
Yes. I'm shocked.
I've seen onions out. But
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
You put cut onions in the fridge.
Right.
That goes in the fridge. And when you have tomatoes out, they like breathing room. You have to keep them separate, like not touching each other.
Okay.
So that's how you keep them. And onions make potatoes sprout. So keep them away from each other. And keep the potatoes in a dark place, not in the fridge.
Wow.
Potatoes and garlic like
Who knew?
Potatoes and garlic like it
You
dark.
are a wealth of information, Allison Bedell.
I am. I'm like a wealth of information. Parsley and cilantro and asparagus. Put them in a little cup of water because they're like a plant, like a flower, you know. And listen to this: fruit likes it dry, and vegetables like it humid. So when you have your fridge drawers, you know, and they have like a little slide thing for humidity.
Right.
Who knew? Vegetables like it humid, fruits like it dry.
Wow.
I never knew.
Now you know.
I always just figured, I want my grapes to stay juicy, so I'll slide it and make it more, for more humidity.
Right.
Nope.
The one that's getting moldy in there and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yes.
I just throw everything in the cheese drawer and say, fuck it.
You do.
The meat and cheese drawer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. We either don't have any food or we have too much food and it goes bad.
Yeah.
We can't seem to get a rhythm with this stuff. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. We're just
Well, being that we don't have a kitchen right now, that might have something to do with it.
Exactly. That's a big part of it.
We got an igloo cooler and no. We actually do have a refrigerator. It's here. It's in the living room, though.
Did you ever answer the question about the pool with the ground wire?
No.
Brian Solar asked, if you repipe a pool niche, and you lost your ground wire, how do you ground the light?
Yeah, the ground usually runs around the whole pool, is bonded all the way around the pool, and it will pick up the electrical ground points from any of the fixtures that you have there. If you've lost the ground wire, you're going to have to get some sort of ground wire back to that fixture. I don't know what kind of coping you have there on the pool. If you can get back behind that to get another ground rod down into it or reattach to your the bonding that goes around your pool. But if you're asking me that question, you probably can't get to it. So yeah, if it fell down in the hole. Honestly, that's
You're fucked.
Yeah, no. It's, I'm sure that there's a way to do it. I'm not a pool guy. There's some questions that I'll just tell you straight out. As far as that goes, that's definitely a question for an electrician that does a lot of work with pools. I know that there has to be a bonding all the way around that pool, and that's a bonding wire that's used to
call a professional.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a way that you can get that grounded. I just don't want to give you the wrong information. And that's the most honest answer I can give you. I think that you're probably better off calling up an electrician or a pool company that the wires those lights in and ask them if they have any trick, because you're probably not the first person that's lost their ground wire. And if it falls back behind that hole inside that there's like a casing that goes there where the pool light goes into. If there's no way to really access, get back in there. I guess if you drain the pool down below that water level, take that whole casing out, you could probably reach back in there and fish the wire back out and reconnect to your ground wire. That would be, the first thing that I would think of off the top of my head. But other than that, you're going to have to access it somehow. But maybe there's some trick that I'm not familiar with. There you go.
Okay.
I wish I had a better answer for you, but that's the one.
Okay, and I'm going to answer a question for me from Michelle Mertz. Love you, Michelle. A beauty question for you by her mom, Nadia. She loves your lipstick choices, but is curious, how often do you need to reapply? She wears Lancome and is having to reapply frequently. I don't reapply usually. I put it on in the morning and it lasts almost all day at work. I maybe need to reapply once at the most. And I use a Max Factor lipstick that they no longer sell in the U.S., but I have also been using other brands, and I am happy to say that I have recently discovered the Anastasia brand lipsticks, and they are amazing. They are the kind that's in the tube, and you got the wand that goes in the tube. And that lipstick stays on so long, it really stays on. They have the most amazing colors. I've always followed the Anastasia products on Instagram because I like their eyebrow products. They have a big selection of really good eyebrow products that I also use. But from seeing their Instagram, I was noticing the colors on their models, and I've been wanting to experiment a bit more and try other things. So I'm going to recommend Anastasia to you. Each lipstick is $20. It is pricey if you're not, but your mom's already buying Lancome, which means that she is in the department store. So I would recommend that she go to Sephora or Ulta and pick up the Anastasia lipstick. It is amazing. It stays on for so long. It's very color dense. It's not like, sheer. So you really get a lot anyway. You don't have to keep putting layers of it on because one layer is really enough. And, that's what I use.
Okay.
Baby, you want a question for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Lay it on me.
Okay. Lynn Steele, again. Hi, Lynn.
I love her.
She said, what are your thoughts on using pallets for a makeshift deck? Is that safe or unsafe?
Yeah, it's not that it's not safe. I've seen people do that, and pallets seem to be all the rage lately. It's like a great way to do a lot of things. People are building furniture out of them, and outdoor bars, indoor bars, tables, wall sections. I mean, it's like countless things that you can do with pallets, and you can go on Pinterest and you can go on a bunch of other. I'm sure there's probably sites out there that just like things that you can build out of pallets. What I will say about pallets...
There actually is. On my Instagram, I think I've...
I know there are. I've seen them. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
my Pinterest.
So people making pallet decks have actually been around for a while. You see that people do that also that live like in apartment buildings, and they'll do it like on the roof, places where there's a flat roof, and there's no way they can anchor anything into the ground or put footings and things like that down in or even to where they're going to want to pierce through that membrane on the roof. How can they lay something on top of it? So pallets have been used for that for quite a while, and now you're seeing that they're popping up and people are making like a little raised patio out of pallets. Now, what I'll say about that is that there are different kinds of pallets. So if you look at, the many different types that are available, they're made out of different thicknesses and sizes of wood that are basically, designed to carry weight and freight and things, cargo and stuff that are put on them. The pallet that you'd want to use for that type of project would be a barrel pallet, which is going to have wood on both sides of the pallet, not just on the top side. Now, they make these pallets out of pine. They'll make them out of oak, some other hardwoods. If you can find them that are made out of oak, they're going to be a lot stronger, and the planks are going to be a lot more rigid for you to walk on. Also, the spacing that comes between those slats on the pallets, they have different size planks. Some come in 4-inch, 6-inch, and the spacing between them can be wider depending upon what they're built to carry. So you're going to want to get one with at least 4 to 6 inch wide planks and the smallest gap possible. They'll make them with actually like a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 gap between the planks, and that's really what you want. So you're not dealing with big spaces. But
I didn't know there was such a variety.
Yeah, you can go online. You'll find there are pallet manufacturers that's all they do. They just build pallets, and they sell them to shipping companies and freight companies and things like that. For many different purposes, and they're actually pretty reasonably priced.
You can go for a drive in your local neighborhood about 2 in the morning and drive in back of all the grocery stores and see what you find.
Yeah, you could just do what we did when we were pallet shopping. I have like an outdoor, like a Shelter Logic. It's like a tent, and I wanted to make a pallet floor, and just to raise it up off the ground and put plywood over the top of it, just to have the hard floor in there. And a lot of times supermarkets and places like that are like throwing them out. Like if you go and you can even go and ask them if they have any that they're not using anymore, or check like your stores like Depot or wherever. They have so many of them. A lot of times they're just looking to get rid of them. Sometimes the pallet companies will come around and they'll take them back, and sometimes they just wind up in a dumpster. So you can probably find them for free rather than purchasing them. But try to get them all the same, and try to get them out of a hardwood like an oak rather than a pine or a softwood. And one of the main things that I've noticed with the pallet patios or decks is that you're going to want to put it on the ground, but of course the ground preparation is going to be key as to the level of those pallets. So what a lot of people do is they use like patio blocks, like the cheapest cement-based patio blocks that you can get, like a 18-inch or a 2-foot by 2-foot patio block, and you're going to want to put them under each 4 corners of the pallet. So that's going to give you like a stable base. You can set them down in sand. You're going to have to level them from patio block to patio block, and you'll have a nice level, stable base to put your pallets on top of. So all the tops of them, all the surfaces are going to be level and even rather than all uneven, based upon on the ground.
Right.
So that's the main thing. The ground preparation is the main thing, but it's actually an inexpensive way to make a raised up little patio, and you can probably do it in a weekend. With a handful of pallets. And remember, each pallet standard size is 4 feet by 4 feet. So it's going to give you 16 square feet of space per pallet. So you have to figure out what size little deck you want to make, and then go out and steal as many pallets as you'll need from your local supermarket. And then I would suggest that, a good thing to use on them, because a lot of times, especially if you're getting in from a food place, they're going to have, maybe like a layer of grease and different things on them for whatever freight they were carrying on them. Sometimes they're stained up and they're kind of shot, paint is not going to do well on something like that outside. So I would get like a deck cleaner that you can kind of apply to that wood, and it'll, just kind of clean off any of the loose dirt and greasy type of residue is on those pallets, and get it ready for some sort of finish. And I would recommend that you use a good quality exterior stain on that. It'll soak into that wood really deeply, and it'll last a long time. It'll give you a nice finish, as opposed to, let's say, an exterior paint. Because, again, you're going to be walking on it rather than, like, if you paint the side of your house, you're going to be walking and dragging furniture and stuff across it. So get a good quality stain. And there you go. There's plenty of sites online that you can find that people actually make these decks out of pallets, and you'll get some really good ideas. Yeah.
The next question is a little bit of a downer, but I wanted to answer it because I think it might help if I do.
It's a downer?
Yeah. I don't want to even, I'm not going to say your name. Just for privacy. Okay, thanks for the sound effects.
All right.
A nice lady asked, how do you break up with a suicidal partner?
Oh, God.
And
oh, no.
The answer is you do it. You can't, people often will say that they're going to do something to manipulate you into doing what they want you to do. And sometimes if you really do have somebody who is truly suicidal and they're saying something that makes you really believe that they're going to hurt themselves, you call the police and you let them know, and you continue to break up with the person as you intended in a nice way, and you cut off communication.
You deal with people with problems like that a lot, I'm sure, on your job, you know, and I'm sure there's, things to do to find out, questions to ask, and things like that. When you see if
you're in a relationship with somebody, you can usually tell if they're a manipulative person, or if they're serious, or if they're actually doing something, or start writing if you find a note, or if they're giving their things away, is usually a clue when somebody's going to kill themselves.
I was going to say, what are some of the clues? Because not everybody might be as keen to recognize what those things would be as someone like you, who has, a lot of social worker training and, a lot of experience in that. So what are some of the things to look for to see if someone's actually serious about it, or if they're just kind of...
Well, there's a couple of different types of suicide. There's the one that is to fix a permanent solution to a temporary problem, and then there's the type of suicide that people commit because they suffer from depression, and it's more of just rather than an incident like somebody breaking up with you or you losing your job or you know what I mean, where you have a problem that you feel like you can't solve or you just get your head past it. There's that, and then there's the kind where you're just depressed about everything all the time, and that's a form of illness, and you know that can be medicated. Hopefully, not every medication helps. Sometimes you have to add medications, change them. Some medications work good for people and not others, and so you need to first evaluate if you really think the person is serious and they're making an immediate threat, like I'm going to kill myself because you just said this to me. Call the police, let them know what the person said. They will come. They will take the person to the hospital for a mental evaluation, and that's what you have to do. You have to do that because if you can't walk away and then say, oh, I wonder if they're going to kill themselves or maybe, if they might do it, because you want to make sure that you at least do something to make sure that that person is safe and you did what you are responsible to do. But never change the decision that you want to make with regards to your relationship with the person based upon what they're threatening to do, because that's just manipulation.
Yeah,
and you don't want to be with somebody who's going to do.
Still got to do what you feel is right, but of course, at all costs, you want to try to help that person any way you can, especially if they're reaching out. It seems like they're seeking attention for that, or they're trying to get help in some way that maybe that's their way of trying to get someone to intervene, and maybe save them from themselves. But I mean, that's a tough situation either way around.
Yeah, I mean, if obviously this person has qualities that that you have decided that they're not something that you want to live with. You can't deal with that in a relationship. It's not right for you, and maybe it'll be great for somebody else, but not for you. So, with that in mind, if your intent is to break up with the person, break up with them and be stern about it, and don't take their phone calls. Don't keep trying to talk to them and make them feel better, because that's giving somebody false hope. And if they think that there's a glimmer of hope, you will never get rid of them. They're going to continue to try to manipulate you. You have to cut it off. When you cut it off, be strong and just cut it off. Don't keep them lingering and thinking that something else can happen.
I think you made a really good point,
chance.
though. If you're noticing that the person seems to really be serious about that, I think it's important that you don't want to ever feel like you could have done something. You don't want to have to harbor that guilt. So if you have any suspicion that that's a legitimate threat,
call a family member or the police.
Absolutely, contact family members and contact the police, and see if you can get them to get into some evaluation as quickly as possible, because that's something that's over and above. You can't. If someone's going to do that, they're going to do it in a quiet place, and there's no one going to be able to stop them. If they made up their minds what they're going to do. You're not going to, by you staying with them. It's not like if they're seriously considering doing that, they're probably serious about doing it for more than just one reason.
Yeah.
So you need to get them the help, but get them some sort of intervene somehow, and then
I had a couple of friends who committed suicide. I know 3 people who committed suicide.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they were all friends with you. Go figure that.
Fuck you.
That's terrible.
Seriously.
What's the common denominator of that?
No, one of them was a victim, I believe, of I think sexual abuse as a child, and that's a hard thing to get over. Another one, I don't know if she suffered from depression. Actually, she had been the victim of a DWI like a decade before, so she had back problems constantly. She had some kind of a thing in her body that was inserted to like an e-stim in her body,
right?
Yeah,
so she was in constant pain.
Right. So she had a recent surgery. For the last time I spoke to her, the surgery was recent, and she was doing better. And apparently, she had this relationship that she was in, and the guy broke up with her, and she killed herself. Left a note, which I'm shocked because she was another. I met her through the cats, doing cat shows and stuff. And like she was a cat lover like me. She had the Sphinx. She had Venus. Her cat was Venus, which is where I got the name for our Venus.
Oh, right.
So she was a really great person, and she killed herself. And from what I'm told, this breakup was the last straw.
Right.
You always feel guilty. Like, I wish I would have known. Maybe I could have said something that could, they could have called me.
So I think the advice that you gave to this person asking is that it's important that you don't want to ever feel like you could have done something and you didn't. So do all that you can do and then move on.
Yeah, but by doing all you can do, that means getting other people involved.
Absolutely, as many as you can.
Yeah.
Because the more people that are involved with it, they're going to have a better chance of getting to this person.
Yeah.
And saying something that's going to make sense and maybe getting them into some treatment or some help. You can't take the burden of that on yourself, certainly. And it's a big weight to carry. And of course, if something actually does wind up happening, you don't want to have to live with the guilt that you could have done something. So, all right, you're right. That was a pretty dark topic.
Yeah, but I felt like I had to answer that. Can you move that coffee pot in so it doesn't fall off the edge of the table, my love?
Yeah, I'll just move away from it.
No? Okay, thanks. Okay.
All right, then.
Okay, then.
Okay, so, yeah.
On a happier note.
Yeah, give me something happy, will you? I don't want to wrap up on the suicide thing.
No. We got a question that we can both answer. Whose question was this? Oh, Darla Reed Crap. Now, she's always commenting on
She's
us.
awesome.
She's awesome. Thank you for the good question. To sum it up, she's been working out like crazy. She lost a lot of weight. She knows that muscle weighs more than fat, but she wants to lose another 10 pounds, and she, despite eating right and exercising, is just plateauing. She's not able to lose this 10 pounds, and she wanted to know of any suggestions to try to lose that. My suggestion...
I found that 2 fingers put together tightly and stuffed all the way toward the back of your throat as far as you can reach them. Just do that as many times a day as you possibly can. That'll get you the last 10 pounds that you're looking for, I promise you.
Okay, that wasn't the suggestion I was going to give. I've actually done that. I used to suffer from bulimia when I was younger, in high school, and periodically after that. That's like a...
I'm kidding.
It's very complicated. It's not a
I'm
good
kidding.
thing. Don't do
I'm kidding.
it.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Just shut your pie hole.
What I found works for me when you're at a plateau.
I'm kidding, Darla. You know I love you.
Oh,
there are definitely things that you
Let
can
me
do,
finish
though.
my sentence. God. What? Okay, so now I am definitely not where I want to be either, and I'm no expert, but what I do know works for me when I actually apply it is you kind of have to shock your system and do something very different than what you're doing. You said something about eating like 1,400 calories a day or something. I usually limit my intake to between 1,000 and 1,200 calories a day. I drastically change my diet to fruits. I try to keep it. I'll have the oatmeal in the morning. I will have the dried fruits and nuts. I'll have yogurt. Try to keep my sugar intake low. Of course, not to eat any the carbs, the white breads, the potato, or the rice. But eat every hour. Have your snack every hour, and don't eat after 6 o'clock. Change your routine. Whatever you're eating, stop eating it and change what you're eating. Shock your system so it's something very different. Eat more frequently and eat less calories throughout the day. That works for me. I was losing this time last year when we were getting ready to go to that red carpet thing, I was losing 1, 2, 3 pounds a day.
Yeah.
And I was eating regularly all throughout the day.
Yeah, it's people's body chemistry, it works differently. How your metabolism, it's hard to say for one person from the other. And I think that you evaluating that and figuring out what's been working, and then when it stopped working, you're going to need to make some drastic change to get your metabolism jump started again. Now, you're saying to keep your calorie intake low. It's going to be relevant to how much exercising you're doing as well. You want to keep your metabolism burning, and you want to keep that body moving and keep the metabolism going all the time. So, nutritionists will be able to figure out how much exercise you're doing versus how much calories you're taking in, how often you're eating. And the whole target for that is to figure out how to make your metabolism burn, keep that fire burning all the time. So if you're in a slump now to where, maybe your body's just gone into a comfort zone, it's kind of gotten used to what you're doing, and your metabolism is not getting sparked anymore, you're going to have a hard time burning off that weight from this point forward. So, you need to do something to jumpstart it.
And change your exercise routine. Whatever you're doing, do something different that you don't normally do. Change it.
I just think you should have a lot more sex. Just whatever you're doing, just up that like at least by 400%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion.
I'm serious. You burn a lot of calories.
Oh,
and it's fun. I mean, think about it. You want to do that, or you want to get on the treadmill? Which one would you do?
Oh, you know which one I'd do.
Yeah, you don't even need to lose weight to do that.
Did you have any other like tip advice you wanted to give about anything, or no? Because I have some other things I just wanted to talk about.
I have one guy that wrote into me and said, Steve said, I suck at caulking. I suck at caulking.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. All right, Steve. I'm sorry to hear you're having a hard time with caulking. And you suck at it.
He has a hard time with caulk.
Who sucks at caulk? What can I do to make it neater? All right, so that's a funny question.
Use a tissue.
Yeah, yeah, you need more caulk. There's a couple of different tricks that you can do, and if you really have a hard time, it's one of those things that just comes easier as you do more of it, and you get, it's just you figure out little tricks and stuff. And professional painters and woodworkers and guys that do craft that use wood fillers and different types of caulking in their projects regularly kind of have it down to a science. I've talked about this before, so I won't spend a lot of time with it. But of course, you want to have a wet rag to remove anything that you don't want on the surface after you get it out of line and stuff. But the main thing is to keep it where you want it and not to use too much of it. So starting from, first of all, people use like caulking tubes, stuff that looks like it comes in a tube, like a tube of toothpaste. That's a no-no. Don't do that because it's very hard to regulate and get an even flow of caulk coming out of that tube just by you squeezing it. And that's the key to getting a neat caulking job. You want to have an even, consistent size of the bead in the joint that you're caulking. So you're only going to get that with a good caulking gun, and also when you're using that gun, the tube that you put in it, whatever it is, silicone or caulk or whatever, on the tip of that, you want to cut the tip of that the size of the bead that you're making. So if you want to make a very small bead, let's say in a corner, you don't want to cut that tip back. The further back you cut it, the bigger the diameter of the opening is, right? So right toward the very tip, it's a very small hole if you cut it off at the tip. So you're going to want to figure out the size of that bead. A good way to do that, you can use painter's tape. And say you're putting a bead of caulk in a corner, you can put painter's tape along the top edge of it on the wall, let's say, and also along the bottom edge. Let's say, for instance, you're caulking around your tub and your shower wall where the wall meets the tub base. You can make your bead thickness right there with that painter's tape. So if you tape along the wall, set it back about 1/8 of an inch off the corner from the top, on the wall, and do the same thing, the same distance down on the bottom on the tub side with that tape. Now you've created a channel all the way along that corner, say about 1/4 inch wide, to where your caulk is going to go into. That's also really a great way to keep it very neat. Now, when you cut the end of that tubing, you're going to measure it to approximately the same size as that gap that you're going to be filling. And this way, you're getting an even, consistent bead all the way through it. Start in one end, run it down to the other, and try to keep that flow consistent. And then, people ask me all the time, there are tools that you can use, like shaping tools they sell in the stores, hardware stores, wherever, that'll, shape the bead of caulk. It's something you can run along that bead and kind of scoops it out. To me, I think the best shaping tool is right on your hand, is your index finger. If you wet your finger, a little bit of water, and you run that wet index finger along that bead of caulk, and then peel the tape off while the caulk is still wet, or the silicone, whatever it is you're using, while it's still wet, you'll get a really nice, neat, even job every time, and you're not going to make a mess. So a couple of little tricks that you can do. Use the tape, cut the tube back the right way, make sure you use a good quality caulking gun, and there you go. A wet rag and a wet finger. Works really well with the caulk. That's how you don't have to suck at caulk. You can do it, Steve.
So we have a couple other questions here too that I definitely want to hit, but I want to save them for the next one.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to blow the whole load and just all at once.
You don't want to blow it all out on One Tip Tuesday?
Yeah, but I wanted to talk to you about a couple other stories that I found before they're like really old news.
Okay.
Do you remember Holly Madison from Girls Next Door? Hugh Hefner's 3 girlfriends that lived with him it was on the E! Network.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
what was the other one that has her own show now? The
Kendra
Kendra on Top. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Kendra was one of them, right?
Yeah. So
and then the other one was his wife, right? Holly.
No, the other one was none of them were his wife.
Oh, he didn't want to marry one of them?
No,
I thought he did.
He married somebody else. But
okay.
This one, Holly, was like the main girlfriend.
Right, I remember her.
Right.
Yeah.
So she wrote a book.
Good-looking chick.
Yeah, they're all pretty.
Right.
she wrote a book, and some of the things that were in this book were very interesting. She was talking about the first night when she was with him, and how she basically wanted to be part of the group. You know, it wasn't like she was so attracted to him. It was like, you know, the whole thing involved with being a Playboy bunny.
Right.
So she talks about the first night that she had sex with him, and how he had a whole bunch of women in the bed. There was a whole bunch of people in there. It was dark. He was in a chair jerking off, and one and one of the other women grabs her and tells her, "Fake the fucking," basically meaning like all the women were faking it. You know, like while he was over there jerking off, and so like
So he just liked to watch all the girls in the bed together,
Right.
So the
right.
girls
they would
are,
pretend to have girl on girl sex, but they
okay.
all did it because it was better than getting into bed with him. So they were all glad that Holly came because like fresh meat, you know, like. They
Right.
were like tired of having to be with him because nobody
tired
wanted
of putting on the act.
Nobody wanted to be with him. Yeah.
Oh, poor Hef.
She said that at some point when he got into bed with her and another girl, she said it was so brief that I can't even recall what it felt like beyond having a heavy body on top of me. So then she's writing about how it was like so horrible living in that house because she basically didn't want to be with him sexually. Nobody did, but they all pretended to because they wanted to be part of.
Come on! I don't think
bunnies.
anybody needs to write a book to figure that one out. I mean, you know, you can just look and see what's going on there, you know, and it's like, you know, I mean, are any of those chicks like getting in bed with him because you know they're so sexually attracted to him? You know, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, it is what it is, right? That's they're part of that world for the reason that they're part of it, and you know, whatever that is, they're getting a modeling career out of it. They're getting to be a centerfold in a you know a world famous magazine, whatever, you know. But let's not kid ourselves. It's not because they want to get in bed with Hugh Hefner.
No,
You know,
no. But you know, I never really like. I always thought that he was just kind of like a ladies' man. That they, you know,
Right.
obviously they wanted.
I mean, he
to be
seems
with
like a
him.
really nice guy. You know, I've heard a lot of people that we know from being kind of, you know, around people in the business and stuff out in California and everything. Everyone has a very nice thing to say about him. I mean, you know, he's supposedly a very generous guy. He's a very nice guy. You know, and let's face it. I mean, he's successful. He's built an empire for himself, and his thing is he likes to be surrounded by beautiful women.
You know what she said also
can't
is
argue
that
with that.
the rooms that you see are like really nicely well kept and well decorated,
Right.
but the rest of the house, like where they actually live,
Right.
like old, out of date,
Oh, really?
like bad shape, really
Right.
bad shape.
So they got like the prop rooms for
Yes.
the camera.
Yeah, she said the
Right.
house is in terrible shape.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard the house for sale, and someone was talking about
Yeah.
have to sell in the mansion, and supposedly selling Playboy, or is Playboy has been sold or is being sold, or what's going on with that?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right then,
I don't know about that.
we'll need to find out.
But what I found amusing with this story was that because Holly was saying that it was like torture and like that she was always like afraid in the house, and she was basically saying that things were very different than it seemed. And so Kendra got pissed, and she went on a Twitter rant and said that she wasn't in fear with that dick in her ass, is what she said on Twitter about Holly. Yeah, because Holly said it was like a constant struggle. So Kendra went off on her, and she was saying she wasn't in fear with that dick in her ass for a paycheck. And then she said, that bitch is in fear now, knowing so many of us saw her doing some nasty shit. She's embarrassed and in shame. She was the cleanup girl.
See, you know, I wouldn't have thought that, because she seems like she's kind of like, you know, out of all the maybe like the most proper, you know. Like some of the other ones seem like a little bit nasty and dirty hardcore, you know?
I don't know. Ugh.
That's funny. Looks are deceiving, not only with the chicks, but with the house.
Yeah.
What you think every room is endured in golden,
Not everything is what it
24-karat
seems.
moldings and fixtures?
Yep.
There you go.
People
well,
always
that's Hollywood,
think-
baby.
Yeah, no,
Right?
but people really, really do fall for what they see and hear, and they forget that there is a whole other world that you don't see and hear from celebrities. You know, people assume that they know the whole thing.
Well, whatever it is, I still have to say Hef is a hero of mine, because he's a self-made guy. Nobody did it for him. He's an icon. He's, he did what he wanted to do. He lived his life on his own terms and reached a measure of success that most people will never know. Surrounded by hot chicks, and that's the way he wanted to live his life. And I say, good for him.
Yeah, if you get off jerking off, looking at the hot
whatever,
chicks,
man.
good for you.
Whatever makes you happy. You know what? He's done his thing. He's built his empire. Let him get off any way he wants.
Fine by me.
Good for you, Hef.
You know, I wanted to close this out with some random thoughts because I started thinking again,
Really?
which led to some thoughts.
Is this a new thing?
Yes. I got some.
You shut down for a couple of days
I
there?
did. Sometimes I really don't have any thoughts.
Wow.
It's really weird.
Just like there's nothing there. It's just blank.
No. So, you ready
Does
for
that have anything to do with the extra long blonde hair extensions you just got? Like you blonded it up even more and it's just like...
Thank you very much. Thank you.
But they look damn good, though,
Thank
I have
you,
to
babe.
say.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to that in another podcast as well.
Yeah.
So in the meanwhile, let's check out I got a few thoughts.
They're just random thoughts that go through my head.
Allison's brain is working overtime. Could be while she's driving or standing in line. So what is she thinking? What goes through her thoughts? Is it something profound or fucking just pissed her off? Get ready for random thoughts. Get ready for random thoughts.
You ever notice those solid air fresheners where you pop open the thing and there's like a gel thing inside of it and it wastes away after like a month or so? Just keeps getting smaller and smaller, but yet you never smell anything coming out of those things.
Right? You know the thing I'm talking where you pop up the plastic and there's like a gelatinous thing in the center?
Yeah.
And it smells for like a few minutes. You smell it.
Right.
And then every day you go into the bathroom and it gets getting smaller and smaller, wasting away, evaporating into the air, but you never smell it.
Huh.
They just sit there looking like shit.
Yeah, we don't have any of those, so I can't say that I've actually thought about that. But yeah, I could see you.
Somebody put one in the bathroom at work. And you don't smell it when you walk in the bathroom. Like,
Right.
even first thing in the morning when nobody's taking a crap.
Right.
You still don't smell that air freshener sitting there wasting away every day. It's a waste of money and a waste of space, and I just think they're ridiculous.
Well, at least they're trying. They're trying to cover it up.
Then you keep it, like, right next to the toilet or something. And then, like, rub it, touch it, so it, like, it you know what I mean,
I don't
activates
want to
the...
touch anything in the bathroom.
It doesn't work.
Why do singers who come from foreign countries that speak English sing with an American accent? It makes no sense to me.
Right?
Well, that's like, yeah, all the people that like, the English, British, and Australian
You
singers.
don't hear
like,
their accent.
Yeah, how is that?
No matter what their accent is, you don't hear it.
Right, it goes away when
They sound American.
when they sing an American song. Yeah.
Yes, how is that?
Huh. I don't know.
Like, why don't we sing with a British accent?
Because we don't speak with a British accent.
Exactly. It makes no sense. Why do they naturally speak?
How come people
sing?
that stutter when they speak don't stutter when they sing?
Ah,
Yeah. Now there's a random thought for you.
yeah, that's a good one. Okay, that's a good one.
Touché.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Take that.
Don't try to steal my spotlight here. Okay, here's the last one.
Here's some random thoughts that come to my mind while I'm sitting in the ladies' room at work. If you should sprinkle while you tinkle, be a sweetie and wipe the seedy. And if you should bleed on the seat, wipe that shit off, you pig. What, you gotta leave it for everybody else?
Somebody clearly had their period, and I just can't get over the fact that I knew that. Like, look at the toilet before you walk out of the stall. You have eyes. Really? Does everybody have to, like, sit on the seat?
All I can say is I'm just so glad I'm not a woman.
Oh, God, I swear, it's so disgusting.
It's one more layer of things you girls have to deal with.
It's gross.
It's bad enough being a guy and going into a public restroom and seeing the disaster that goes on in there. Yeah, not good. All right, well, there you go. Random thoughts.
Yeah.
Stuff that makes you say,
Things that make you go,
Yeah.
Things that make you go, You know, people. So, with that being said, we want to remind you to please go to our website, hammerandnailspodcast.com.
Check it out. We got a lot of
Please
good stuff on
look
there.
at the episode summary for today's episode because I'm going to put the link to the products that I was telling the ladies about. Did you have anything that you were talking about that I have to put a link for?
No, I was giving tips on the stucco and telling Steve how he would not suck at cock anymore.
Okay.
And
So I will put some links up there for the ladies for a variety of makeup products and my daily routine products that I use, which are all amazing and inexpensive. And we have an Amazon link. We have the PayPal link. Please contribute to the podcast. Please go on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Just go under our names. We don't have anything, any special code names. It's at Allison Bedell and at Skip Bedell.
I've been trying to come up with like a good code name, but I just can't think of anything. It's like Agent Super Awesome Tool Guy.
Okay.
Mr. Fix It.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just keep going back to Skip Bedell.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know it sucks, but you got to do what you got to do.
Well, with that, I want to thank everybody for coming back this and every time.
Tell a friend, please. That's the only way to help us grow. And also go on iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Please. That helps us out, too.
Yeah, thanks again, guys, for coming back. We love you, and we'll catch you next time.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.